Alright, well, I'm going to do a quick little video on one of the other modifications I'm thinking of doing, and to let you see what's going on with Roxanne, just so you can see. This car here, which I'm going to rebuild at some point, has some front end damage. Basically the motor was untouched, which is nice, but the front frame horns were pushed over to the driver's side a bit, and accident it had. It completely removed what is technically the actual front bumper, which is like the steel support. Unlike a car like this, which is a 62 Falcon, this is basically the front of the subframe. So kind of built the same, but this part actually supports another bumper altogether, where this part here, a bumper bar, or what they call a push bar, and I'm not talking about the police push bar you see, it's the actual structural part behind the vinyl bumper. It's completely gone. I removed the radiator and some other stuff just to ease an evaluation of what was wrong with this car. It does look like they used it for a parts car, because stuff like the I think this is the mass airflow sensor, and the coolant reservoir they grabbed. There's a couple lines missing, and they pulled almost all the fuses and relays out of this, and then some of the cables are missing. So this car doesn't actually run yet. It should run just by putting it back together, because it's only got about 68,000 miles on it, I think. Most of the body is fine, as in sheet metal. The hood was wasted. It actually flipped up on me during transport when I was bringing this car back from Atlanta, Georgia, which is where I bought it. The reason I'm explaining that is because this car here actually had a lot of stuff missing, but the structural integrity of this car is still maintained. The quarter panels are good, the roof is good, there's no broken glass. Again, they gave me the license plate with it for some reason. It does have a lot of cool accessories that only fit in these Tauruses. This came with all the lighting equipment. All this stuff actually works. I have a little wire I can jump here. I forget which one. But I did get... this thing's got a weird locking deal. But it's cool because it's got this gun mount here that actually works. I can hit a button over here, a hidden button, and this unlocks for probably an AR of some sort, but you'll hear in a second it should lock, or it did lock. So see, now it's locked. I push this little button, you hear a click, and now it's unlocked. And I can still open and close it until you hear that little click and it's locked. So it's cool stuff. But this car does have quite a bit to be done to it to get it complete. The door handles, here we go. The door handles and stuff are missing. This one did have an airbag deployment in the steering wheel. All this stuff in here still works, the radio and Bluetooth, and pretty much all the electronics are there. It's just they've taken a lot of parts out of it, I guess, to use in other cars. I have almost all the parts to rebuild this from Lola, which is one of the cars you'll see in the other videos. So anyways, so this car is kind of taken apart. Well, I took the one of the videos I showed. This is actually a twin turbo EcoBoost, but it doesn't have the right badging on it, because I have the trunk lid from this, because this trunk lid on this car was just wasted. this car had a travel trailer slide into it on black ice and pretty much damaged this whole rear corner. Again, luckily no broken glass. The doors, all the windows are fine. That door's locked, I guess. I better unlock these because I'm gonna be working on this. So, you can see a scrape here in the glass, and this chrome is damaged. I straightened this out as much as I could, just the old cheap drilling holes and using a self-tapping screw and a dent puller. This door was completely caved in, but like I said, as you can see, I've got it to where it works good now. But I have a newer door, same year, make and model, but off a civilian unit. And it has a little bit of damage, but nothing major. This door here is fine, but I've got some weird damage up here. This looks better than it should because I got some vinyl wrap and put over it just to make it look a little better and cover some gashes and holes in it. So actually this right here is actually hovering. But I put different wheels on it, and I've got another car over here that's got the correct wheels, the police interceptor wheels, but I'm trying to convert this out of looking like a police interceptor. I want to make this like a civilian appearance package, which is they call an SAP. I still need to get one more brake light. Actually, this is a backup light. It's like one of these, but it's really hard to find the driver's side stuff on these cars, especially at the rear, because that's where these cars get hit the most from traffic traveling down the road. These are always parked on the right side of the road doing traffic stops. So this part over here all got damaged, which if you notice, everything that's missing on this car is the tail light, the door handles, the mirror, this piece of trim here. So they knew ahead of time what parts were going to have a higher attrition factor, being a police car. So I put this trunk lid on here. These lights here don't match the police interceptor. Police interceptor tail lights on the Tauruses are an incandescent bulb. And what's weird is this is actually a police interceptor backup light and reflector. And this tail light is normally here. And the only reason this is different because this is LED. And I'll show you really quick in case you haven't seen any other videos, because these are kind of impressive lights. Turn this on and this on. And so these are the LED brake light and turn signal on each side. And this just has two backup lights in it. I'll show you the difference on this car, what a conventional police interceptor taillight looks like. That thing just beep. I got beeping all around me now. Oh, I forgot to turn on the flashers. Listen to all this beeping. It's like a Pong game from the 80s. Okay. So, this is a conventional police interceptor taillight in a Taurus. This marker light should be on, but I can see it's that weird chrome black color. It's blown. So, and this is the LED, and this should be lit up with an incandescent. This is cool because it's got little LEDs in here, 3 of them, and then it's just got a whole bunch of them. If I put this just right, it'll almost bleach out the lens for a second. Listen to these cars. They're all like, hey, how's it going? You from around here? I feel like they're going to start in unison, make some music. So, anyways, that's why this car here doesn't say EcoBoost. I have the 2 emblems over here because I actually have 2. All right, that's enough of that. I have the emblems for this over here. So you can see I have 2 of the actual EcoBoost emblems because I have 2 police interceptors. And here's, well, the front lights. That's funny, all the lights work, but they're just not in any housings. So, okay, you still making noise? Oh, it's because the key's in the ignition. Ugh. So anyways, to get to what I was talking about, just these taillights are actually from an SEL limited model, and even a newer model, base model, I think, of Tauruses do come with an LED taillight. And they even come with LED marker lights, which this one doesn't have either. Let's see if the headlights are still on. So this has incandescent and incandescent, which I'm going to change these to LED. I think it'll look nicer. But this one came with an LED spotlight, which is actually in the party car now, which I'm probably going to put back into this one because this is eventually going to lose its spotlight. Because gosh, I left all kinds of stuff on here. There we go. So, so this car here is kind of getting parts from this car temporarily. But what was neat is when I was looking around in a junkyard for these cars, which I can't find any for nothing, I saw a couple of Mustangs. This is what I found. Gotta clean this off anyway, so it's not gonna get that clean. But if it's really clean, you can almost see, let's see if I can clean this car here where it's not exact, but these cars from Georgia are a dark, nice, really pretty dark blue with a reflective stripe on it. If I was using my flash now, you'd see this reflective stripe. I kind of like that stripe. It's got a weird little, looks almost like goes into like a little flame point. I mean, for a police car, how neat is that? Almost looks like something from one of the cars on Fast and the Furious. Well, I found this at the junkyard, and there's 2 ways I could put it on here. I forgot. I knew I'd do that. This antenna that's here needs to come off. I should have planned ahead for that. I'll leave the rubber seal on there. We'll put this here. So anyways, so I found a wing at the pick and pull, pick apart, whatever. And this is off a Mustang. And I joke around sometimes and I say, because like that channel Mike Blue GT, he's been putting on his channel little links and information about the rumors of a 4-door Mustang. Well, I'm like, why would they build a 4-door Mustang? Because they're basically building a Taurus. And the SHO is the super high output version of the Taurus. And it goes about as fast, if not faster, than a lot of Mustangs. And if you ever see a video of the front of Lola, when you take the front bumper off of these cars, the actual vinyl bumper, and it sucks because I'd have to walk outside, turn on the flash, and start a video again. But I'll show you later. The front of these cars almost looks like a Mustang already, mainly because of the headlights and the hood line, but the hood line slopes down on these. So, you know, it kind of looks like it kind of doesn't. But at first glance, except for the fact that a Ford, the hood comes straight down and then it has an undercut grille. Let's see if we can see this car over here. I do have a light. Nah, it's not bright enough. But anyways, so oddly enough, I saw a Mustang wing and I thought, well, that'd be neat to put on something. And I actually have had it on here before. I just didn't mount it permanently. I put it on with some shoe goo and drove around with it, and it's got almost the right radius to it here. I'm torn between actually having it come out to the end, which really does look cool, but I don't want it to interfere with anything with the edge of this. I'd like to be able to grab the trunk lid here to shut it instead of grabbing this wing, because it's a hollow, I don't even think it's fiberglass. I think it's like a polymer plastic. And it's pretty, I mean, it's really light. I mean, it doesn't weigh nothing. The way it mounts is, this part's busted, but it's got bolts that go in it. And I had grabbed another one off of a green Mustang, which I ended up getting seats from and taillights, which are actually going to go on Lola, because Lola's going to be a Mad Max car. And this is a 06 wing, and I got these 06 taillights off of the same car, and I did get seats, which were in this Ranchero, but this project is going to go a different direction, if not just go away. So I gave the seats to my buddy who has a 65 Mustang now. So now he has 06 bucket seats out of a Mustang GT in his 65 Mustang, which I think they look really great. They look like they belonged in the Ranchero, except, you know, it's a Ranchero, it's not a sports car. So I really dig the way the Chargers look with their wing on the back, because even the police cars have a wing. The only thing that's kind of weird is this doesn't come out far enough to follow the radius of the body here, which is the other reason I'm torn, because the further away I pull it from the window, the closer it looks like it belongs. So I might end up moving it back. The only thing that sucks is I do want to mount it now to actually see if it has any beneficial downforce, because I drive on a closed course under controlled conditions, of course. You know, this is a 150 mile an hour car if you look up the specs. Now, am I ever going to get up to 150 miles an hour? No, not unless they let me out on the Bonneville Salt Flats or maybe Adelanto airfield, and maybe I could slip $100 in somebody's hand and say, hey, I just want to do 2 runs, 1 in and 1 out, and I'll leave, and I won't even make eye contact. But I'd love to see how fast one of these cars goes top speed with Z-rated tires, which it does have right now, but brand new tires. And I've driven it, and I've never felt the rear end get light, kind of like the Chargers. They're actually technically a faster car top speed. I think they do 160, but they don't get to 150 as fast as these cars. And they also don't, oh, this looks crooked, by the way, because I don't have the trunk shut, because I'm thinking about mounting this. But that's where my dilemma is right now. I think it's more functional where it's sitting. Of course, I'm going to end up cleaning all that adhesive debris, because I need to repaint this car after I fix the back end. But, you know, I'm torn between having it set just a little bit forward. I mean, optimally, I'd love to have it actually hang out past the top of this. Which, oddly enough, one of the trunk lids off of an SEL I have here, there's a weird radius on top here, instead of it coming out to a sharp edge. And yeah, here's the other type of SEL taillights, which don't match anything of mine, which is why this is back here. I bought this with the intentions of using it on the other car, which was kind of a mixed blessing, because I found these taillights too, which I'll get back to. But if I had that trunk lid, which doesn't work on this car, it bolts up and it will open and shut, but for some reason the taillights off of the older car come down to here, and in turn the bumper stops at this point going up. So they're a longer tail light. They come down further. And you can't tell, even if I go in there, I'd have to grab another tail light and put it here. So that whole deal didn't work out. But these taillights, which are LED and non-police interceptor issue for now, I'm pretty sure they went to LED on 2016 or 17 and 18. But this is a 2015 car, and this is a 2014. So everything on them is pretty much identical. There's a couple little weird differences, which I'll probably point out later on. So these actually, through Ford, the LED taillights for the non-police interceptor version, they're like $600 a piece. I mean, each, just this. Now, the reason I don't have another one of these over here, and I've got this tape now because it's starting to get cold out, and I actually feel the cold air come in through there when I'm doing triple-digit speeds. Just this light here from Ford, that's like $227. And it's not LED, and they want a core. I don't understand that, because the tail light that came out of here was busted to crap. But I know I end up finding one used. It's just taking a while. It took me a while just to find out to get these harnesses to be able to plug in the LED taillights of the civilian model into the police interceptor model. And it was dumb because they were $13. I'm giving this away, even though I was going to buy like 4 sets of them and just throw them on the internet for like $30 a pair, to $60 a pair, because it took me so long to find them. I was pissed, and I was like, all right, well, I waited 3 or 4 months to finally figure out, instead of having to buy a wiring harness from some, electronics shop, that Ford actually sells the wiring harness for $13 to connect these lights where these lights used to be. So enough with that. I like the back ends of the charger. I like the way they look. I can't use the trunk lid I wanted to use because it's wrong. But I got these $600 a piece taillights out of a 2015 SEL limited model, which is where I also got that door. I got a whole bunch of other parts too. But when it came down to it, I paid less for all these parts than I would have paid for 1.5 of these taillights new. So when I actually worked it out and looked at the receipt that we kind of wrote up, because it was kind of like one of these package deals. I forget everything I bought, but I bought a pile of stuff. But I think I ended up paying roughly about $150 to maybe $160 for the pair of these lights. And we're looking at $1,250 worth of lights here. Granted, they're not brand new, but they're not going to burn out anytime soon because they're LED, and there's not a mark on them. There's some little weird watermark right there inside, and I don't know how that happened. This one looks better and newer than that one. I'm assuming that maybe this side sat in the sun a lot and maybe drew some moisture in, but I've been told how to fix that, and I'm a little nervous about it. It has to do with deionized water and a vacuum cleaner. But nah, I don't think I'm going to be doing that, because if it's a 50-50 light there, I mean, that's at 50 miles an hour at 50 feet away. It looks brand new to me. So this is about, yeah, that's not a 50-50, but maybe at 100 miles an hour at 100 feet away. Yeah, that's a 100-100 job. At 100 miles an hour, 100 feet away, I bet you that looks fine. So anyways, before I install this, if somebody wants to comment or give me a suggestion of whether I should bring this right to the edge, so I get not only, let me see here, So I not only get a little bit of an overhang, I mean, it looks cooler like that. I just don't know if I like this. And there is a weird dent here. I think this is from a flashlight or something, maybe smacked it. Some people say it looks like a ricochet from a bullet. I don't know. That'd be a lucky shot to hit just that edge and bounce off without going through. But I don't know if I like. I guess that would help kind of. I could dab that with a. This is all going to be black anyways. But it does kind of help it go with the radius a little bit more. Like right there looks bitchin'. You know. But this side you can't really say because I still got to do some body work. But so here, like that, or here, like that. As you can see, the radius is really good. I mean, it really looks like it belongs on this car. So, and this car doesn't say Taurus on it. The civilian models do say Taurus on it. A lot of people don't realize this. They think this is a Fusion until they see how big it is. And they don't look like a big car because of the smooth lines. But I've measured these cars, and they're just about the same dimensions and wheelbase and everything as my Crown Vics. It just doesn't look like it because it looks like a Toyota Paseo or something. But I'm torn on this wing. I really want to put it on. I just don't want to drill holes in the body to make it permanent unless I really know what's going to look good. A lot of times you hear me say, oh, I don't care what people think. I don't care what people... But, you know, if I really didn't care what people thought, I'd be driving around a pink Miata, you know, throwing Skittles at people and yelling, you know, taste the rainbow, bitches. So I've stopped doing that because, you know, it just didn't make for good friendships and everything. Anyways, joking aside, I do want it to look good. I think it's going to look good either way, especially when I match the color and, you know, it looks like it belongs there. And what's crazy is I paid like maybe $15. I bought both of them for like $30, and the hardware from the other one will work on this, and I could sell the other one later, or when I get this car done, if I put it back together. If I find a trunk lid that will fit this car before I paint it to use it for this car, then that wing will already be on this trunk lid, and I can put it on this car when I get this car finished. So even though, you know, that car is a 130 mile an hour car, this is a 150 mile an hour car. Is 20 miles an hour going to make a difference on whether I like the wing or not? No. But it looks bitchin'. And I do want to see if I can feel any benefits from it and the downforce in the back. Now, if it looks weird or gearish, as the Germans say, or dorky, or, you know, I always joke around when I see a wing on the back of a car. I go, hey, that's a nice shopping cart, you know. There's your handle up there. But it's not an obnoxious wing. It's kind of bulky, and actually the lines on it are smooth. When I say bulky, I mean these cars are bubbly. They've got kind of a rounded, the whole body of it just kind of, it's nice because it got a big ass, and I mean, Freddie Mercury liked fat bottom girls along with other things. But I like a car with a larger rear on it. And anything I can put on to accentuate the positive, hey, I'm all for it. So let me know what you think if you're watching, and thanks for watching. And I hope y'all had a good Thanksgiving. I'm still trying to breathe a little bit after eating some good food. And, you know, if you guys got to work on Friday after eating and stuff, well, more power to you. I do too. And you guys have a good weekend when it comes.